Hey, if you have Russian friends, you might have heard that they are always complaining that they are cold, even though it's -1 or 0 or just the wind blowing. And you always have this idea in mind, like, you are from Russia, why are you complaining about cold weather? Like, you must be resistant from cold. But firstly, yeah, it might be extremely cold in Russia, and generally, in the European part of Russia, where is Moscow, St. Petersburg, and yeah, it's called Central European part of Russia, the lowest, just the most common temperature in winter is kind of maybe -20 below 0 Celsius. Right now, for example, it's December, and the weather is around -1 or 0 Celsius, so it's not that cold. First of all, yeah, it might get very cold, in Siberia, for example, -50 below 0. And it might be even warmer if, yeah, the Russian person comes from the south part of Russia. So that's the first idea. The second idea is that, it's very cold outside, but inside, just in most of all Russian houses, it's very warm, and in all public places, supermarkets, hospitals, schools, universities, I don't know, some organizations, it's very, very hot, actually. And this is because of the central heating system that we have. In Russia, central heating system is different from that one that is in the West. Here, homes, stores, and offices, they do not have their own furnaces. And here I'm talking about the common situation when people live in the apartment buildings. There are several apartments, and they have several levels. And so what's going on? This kind of buildings, they are heated by the immense government plant that pumps the heating into the radiators to every apartment. The thing is that the government officially they turns on this heating system when it's cold outside. I never just notice how cold it should be outside, but I read in the article that if it's 8 degrees Celsius below 0 for 5 days in a row, so the central heating system should be turned on. And generally it's kind of the end of October till May. But yeah, it really depends on the weather conditions in each city and just in the year. For example, the last year, the autumn was very warm till the end of November, and this year this wasn't the case. It was kind of really cold in November, so they turned on the heating system in November. Yeah, you see, I'm kind of in a t-shirt right now, and it's hot in my apartment, even though I have a modern radiators right now because my apartment has been renovated. And I have 3 radiators in my apartment. It's 35 square meters, just a studio. And so I turned off one radiator because I don't really need it, and it's also hot right now, even with 2 radiators. Here is the first radiator, and so you see, right now it's on, so, and by this thing I can turn it off. Yeah, and these are the pipes, and the heat comes from the pipes and from the radiators. Now this is another one I have. Yeah, you see this thing, and it's also turned on right now, so it's bigger, so it gives more warmth to my apartment. Yeah, and the last radiator is just, it's my bed. So basically I turned it off because when I go to sleep, I sleep with a blanket, so I don't want to be extremely hot. And yeah, I don't really need it. Sometimes people build kind of heating of the floor in the bathroom or in the corridor, and this one is not the central heating system, so it is warmed by the electricity. So right now I'm paying more for the electricity because sometimes I turn them on. But still it's not that much as it was when I lived in France, in Paris for months. I'll tell you about that later. How much do Russians generally pay for this kind of heating system? Yeah, it can be logically to assume that you pay just for when the heating is turned on, but the thing is that I don't know, the government or some kind of authorities decided to divide this sum of money through the whole year. So we pay even in summer when the central heating system is turned off. And basically it's around, for my 35 square meters apartment, I pay I looked at my bills and it was 1,200 rubles per month. This year, I can show you my bill from this year, and it's, I don't know, it's $19. And the last year, I looked at my bills for the last year in September when it was warm, so the central heating system was surely turned off at that time, and I paid 100 rubles less. So it was $18 per month, and that's it. In France, for the comparison, in Paris, I remember we didn't have the central heating system, and we had radiators that worked by the electricity. And so I think I rented Airbnb apartment, and it was 60 euros included in the bills, and we paid additionally, I think, 500 or 600 euros living there by 4 months. And so 2 months, I think, we didn't even turn on the electricity, these radiators. So it was, I don't know, I was so surprised. And I noticed that my French friends, they tend to turn off their radiators, then they come to work, then they are not in the apartment, and so that's why it's constantly cold in homes, while in Russian houses it's very hot. So that's why we are not really cold resistant, even though outside it might be extremely cold. Yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching it. I hope you understood why Russians are always complaining about being cold in Europe and maybe in some other countries. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and share this video with your friends.